Welcome to another episode of Geek-men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds. I'm Dustin.
I'm Zombie, and this is ADHD Theater. It's almost tripped up there.
I was waiting for it.
I'm tired, but I'm not
Hey, y'all.
tired to not get it right. So,
Right. Well. Plus, we were just talking before the show went on, and about human fluids and how certain people might end up consuming some if they send their food back and things like that.
yeah. You
So,
don't piss off the people that handle your food when you go out to eat.
no, and that's why I was saying, yeah, I just grin and bear it. Yeah, no, this is just great. So, no. This plate is staying in front of me now. Like, it's not going back.
Yeah.
Oh no. We all know someone who's sent food back in their life, and I know after seeing Waiting, that movie, I mean, I literally ate food out of a basket. I went to it was Fridays or Applebee's or something like that, and I got half off appetizers, right? And so I got a basket of wings, and I'm poking the wings. I used to stab my wings with a knife, just because I was difficult and didn't have a fork or didn't want to use a fork. Whatever the case was at that time, I was dumb and young. And so I was stabbing, eating them like that. And I stabbed one, and it just slid off. Stabbed one, and it slid off. And I'm like, that's weird. So I look, and I'm like, I think, look at this for me. I think that's raw, right? I asked the group that I was with, this is raw, right? Like, when you stab it, it just slides right off, right? It's not supposed to do that. So they comped the meal, and I didn't send it back. I know I didn't do that, and I'm like, no.
So it went from half off to 100% off.
Right. Yeah. They're like, oh, that's so weird. Normally they just take it out and dump it in the basket. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not saying anything. It's a freak accident, whatever. Oh boy.
Yeah,
But
I
anyway.
used to work in the food industry.
Hey, Ghost Pepper's in the chat. Had
Ghost
fun
Pepper.
time with him in the Madness watch party. We watched Army of Thieves. No, I didn't eat the raw one. I just stabbed it a bunch of times and was like, that doesn't seem right. I think it's raw. and I here's the thing, I was going to just pick around it and eat the other ones, and they're like, no, don't do that. We don't want you to get sick. Don't do that. And I'm like, okay. So
no, I used to work in the food industry back in my early 20s. Yeah, early 20s. I've seen all kinds of stuff on both sides of the fence, in the back and out on the floor. So
right.
It's definitely an experience, and it's like I was telling you right before we got started. I think at some point in everybody's working life, like, you should have to work in the restaurant business just to see what it's like. It'll give you a whole new level of respect of the crap that people have to deal with in the food industry.
Sometimes literally in that statement.
Yeah, it's something else. I tell you, it's not for everybody either. Like, as long as I can help it, I'm not going back.
Yeah.
I did 7 years, and that's enough for me.
It's probably a good idea to make your own food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Never a bad thing.
yeah, I don't know, but
You get to control what goes in it at that point, you know?
yeah, that's definitely true. So, while we were chatting earlier, I went ahead and made this super busy sign for Monday night. If you're going to manage to join us, we're going to be talking about stuff on this poster. Some of this and some of that, and zombie may or may not be a disembodied ghost. But
Yeah, you may get
no.
this pretty face, or you just may get this. We'll figure it out. Monday's going to be a very fly by the seat of our pants kind of night.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
but
as long as I've got a connection, I'll be here.
yeah, the show will go on at some point, some way, shape, or form, I should say. But so have you been watching anything? I know you're busy, but
Let's see. It's been one giant insomniac type of week for me. So there's probably a better way to say that, but it's really hard for me to remember what I did
mm-hmm.
and what I think I did, because it's just.
Did you watch Invincible?
I did.
The latest episode?
Yeah, I watched yesterday's episode. So
okay.
It was definitely a much better episode than like 2 episodes ago. That one was still rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Yeah, so I watched that one last night. Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Hey, Jessica's here. What's going?
Hey, Jess. Invincible's a weird one for me because I did read the comics.
Yeah.
So sometimes stuff gets mixed up, kind of like how The Walking Dead does. Like I read the comics to that, and like I can get to a point where, did that happen in the comic book or the show or both? Like I know it happened in one.
Yeah.
In the same way with The Boys, it's like, okay, wait, did that happen in the show or just the comics? It's so yeah. There's something coming up that's crucial to the story of Invincible.
Well, the season's over.
I'm wondering. Well, no, I mean, even if this season is over, like coming up, like I know there's something that's going to happen that's like a hot button topic, and it affects like the future of the characters and Earth itself. And I don't want to give any spoilers. I'm wondering. I'm drawing it out. It doesn't need to be. I'm just wondering how they're going to handle that. Like,
yeah, I hear you. I mean,
usually it's a situation where the roles are reversed for particular characters in how this happens. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Oh, so is Mark going to give birth to a baby?
Well, those crazy Viltrumites. But yeah, no. So, like I already knew. So there's one episode that I haven't been able to watch, and it was the Adam Eve special. Like, I cannot. So I can't watch that one for some reason. Like, it never will open. It never will play. So I don't know. I've got to find a way to watch that one. But from the comic books, I already knew that about her powers, what was revealed in this last episode. And I kept waiting for that to happen. And finally it happened. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, but what about the other thing? Like, no, I guess they didn't do that.
They didn't.
So I know they changed, like her costume
I have watched
is a little
that
bit
episode.
different. Huh?
Because I have watched that episode.
But have you
read Adam Eve episode?
Yeah. Have you read the comics?
No.
So you don't even know. Okay, you don't even know what I'm alluding to here.
No, I don't.
So I don't
So
even want to
I
say
just
it.
know that based on what they showed in the last episode and what they
Right.
revealed. Okay, so if there's another thing, they did not go into that. That's all I know
Yeah.
from just based off that episode. So
Well, from what I gather, the Adam Eve special is her origin story and when she was younger. So the thing that happened in the comic book that they didn't do in the show only affects her as an older woman.
uh,
So, and I don't want to say it. I don't. So I'm not. I'm moving on.
yeah.
I finished Those Who Live, I guess was the title of it, the Rick and Michonne side story.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it was
How was that?
interesting. It was interesting. None of that happened ever takes place in any of the comic books. So that was purely like, as far as I'm concerned, that's like an alternate dimension. Like none of that
Well,
ever
yeah.
happens. Like there is no happy ending for The Walking Dead, okay? And in any zombie story, there is never a happy ending, okay? Let's
Not
just
entirely.
face facts here. Like zombies are this unstoppable supernatural force. Like you might be able to avoid it for a time, but eventually it's going to catch up to you. Like there's no escape. There is no happy ending for the Walking Dead universe. They
Yeah.
In the comic they wrap it up kind of all nice and neat in this little package, but that threat still never really goes away. It's just people handle it much differently than what they do in the beginning. Like they know, okay, well, when you die, you are going to come back. So we have precautions. We have somebody that sits with you, that you in the head, after you pass, so you don't come back. And they've managed the dead much more in the future, that sort of thing. But yeah, Rick and Michonne's happy ending where they're reunited with their kids and all that shit. Like, yeah, okay, that's for the TV audience, the people that followed it for all those years. That's their little,
Their little
happy ending
here's your
smudge along the
happy
way.
ending.
Yeah, it's like, sorry, folks, that didn't really happen in the comic books, which is the source material. That's like picking a story from the Bible and like not putting everything in the movie that was in the Bible and then changing how things happened, especially the end. That's kind of like a parallel here that it's I don't know, whatever. It was
I get
interesting,
it. Okay, so Jessica says she lost interest after they killed Carl.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, if you like
mine was
Carl, read the
probably before that.
comics. If you like Carl, read the comics. What they did to that character in the show was complete BS. Everybody knows it. It should have never happened. But actors and the creative writers and teams, they butt heads on shows all the time, and people leave, and then they have to change shit. And I'm gonna tell you, in the comic, Judith doesn't live as long as she did in the show.
No, she does not. She barely gets to be born, practically.
Right. Yeah, so at some point they shoehorned Judith into what Carl was supposed to be by the end of the show. But really, like the end of the television show, The Walking Dead, doesn't even go as far into the future as the comic book did. Like there's like time skips, yeah, but so far they haven't done, like, I know, like I haven't finished the Daryl Dixon show. It's in its second season. I haven't finished that one yet. So I don't know like what the end of that one looks like yet. But I can tell you, like the main show, The Walking Dead, they did not skip forward like far enough like the comic did to wrap up that main part of the story. So, but anyway, yeah, if you like Carl, read the comic books. They're much better anyway. You know,
Yeah.
whatever. This isn't the Walking Dead talk show, so moving on.
This isn't Talking Dead.
No, which whatever happened to
Chris
that
Hardwick?
show? Like those you know those rumors of him
I can tell
came
you.
out,
Yeah.
and they're like, nope, that's it. Like seriously? Oh my god. Anyway, don't even get me started on that.
Yeah.
Moving past.
It was proven wrong, and everything's all good above board.
But it never
so to
really
speak,
came back. It never really came back after that, did it?
No,
Like,
they didn't.
did a few.
They didn't bring it back.
They did a few, but like it was never like it was or whatever.
I mean, I felt like those types of shows burned out like at the end of season 1 of when it first started. It was just like,
I didn't.
Okay, cool.
Like
now you are just having random fans on to talk.
Right. And they're coming up with their own theories and shit like that. Like that's
like, I don't care about your theories.
Yeah,
let's bring in Kirkman here. Let's talk.
Show us behind the scenes stuff and stuff that's coming up and how they did this or that. That's fine. But then you got everybody in a little powwow sitting on the couch.
Which again is fun to do, but you know.
And then because that was so successful, every show had to have a post show to talk about let's talk about how we feel about what we just watched. Like, let's not say we didn't, all right? Anyway.
I'm not going to point out that our show is essentially like that too, but
I
digress.
Well, I mean, you never know what we're going to say on our show.
I know.
That's what makes it
This
fun.
was not on the agenda at all. So, yeah.
I mean, we were talking about food, and now we're talking about shows that we didn't say we were going to watch. It's all totally my fault. Like, I'm just a mess. I'm a mess.
No. I let the conversation go that way.
Unapologetic. I'm a mess. Deal with it. Whatever.
I mean, it is what it is.
I can't remember if I did watch anything. Like, okay, well, yeah. So there was some anime that I got caught up on. So I was behind on some of that, you know. So
okay,
I got caught up on
hey, how's it
Solo
going?
Leveling. Hey, Road Pig John. RPJ. Anyway, what's up, dude? No,
RPJ.
Yeah. I got caught up on current releases for Solo Leveling. Love that one. That one's a good one.
Is that the one on Amazon?
I don't know.
No, oh wait, no, that's Secret Level. I don't know.
I don't know. Secret Level. I don't know. That one's not drawn up. I don't know.
I haven't watched it, so I couldn't tell you anything about it.
I'm half awake right now, so I'm you know, my brain is working funny. What was the other one that I watched though? I can't remember the name of it. Like, I could see the main character. He wears like a blue bird mask. I can't remember. I don't know. That one's in its second season. I got caught up for current releases for that. I got caught up on One Piece, so I'm on episode 1109, I think. So waiting for the dubs to come out for that.
It's so daunting.
Shangri-La Frontier. That was the other one that I could with the dude with the bird mask. So that one's a fun one because it's all like a virtual reality gaming world kind of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, I did.
Jessica looking it up.
Yeah. Shangri-La Frontier. Yeah, you found it probably right as that little hamster started running on that loading ball. It's like, oh yeah, that's what it is.
She says, I only know because my son yelled it at me.
yeah. See, no. So okay. That was probably so. Yeah, that was before my sleep deprivation started. So yeah, okay. So I got caught up on those. I think that's it. Dustin, what about you? What do you watch? I've been rambling on for like 20
Oh
minutes
no,
here. What
no,
have
it's
you been
fine.
watching?
I haven't watched much of anything. I did start watching Day of the Jackal. I found it on my buddy's Plex server, so I've been watching that, and I have 2 episodes left. It's interesting. Um, Again, I've never seen the movie The Jackal, so I don't know if it's related. I believe it's supposed to be, but I don't know anything about that movie. So, um, and then I've just watched all of our usual shows for the week, like 1923 Tracker, um, uh, Will Trent, and then we haven't watched Rookie yet. Um, I haven't watched Doc yet. That is another show I picked up recently. Because Pumira's been, at work. So it's like I need something to watch. So started watching the show called Doc. Do you know anything about it? It's
Never
about
heard
this
of it.
girl that, this woman who she's a doctor and then gets into a car accident, wakes up and can't remember the last 8 years of her life. And she is in the hospital and, it's like, oh, she's supposed to be remembered. And she like talks to her now ex-husband who has to tell her, yeah, we got divorced a long time ago. So like 4 years ago or whatever it was. So it's about her piecing together the past and the future, what's happening now. And then it flashes back to her past when, it shows the 2 different people she essentially was. So it's kind of interesting. She's, I'm enjoying it enough to continue watching it. I'll say that. So I liked House, so I figured why not.
Sounds like House with Dementia.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, there's also another show. It's on I think on Paramount. It's called Watson, and that literally looks like just House. Just it's with the main character's black, and he's still dealing with a team just like House did. And of course, he's the Sherlock, and whereas Wilson was House's Watson, and so now this guy's Watson compared to, I'm not sure who's in the show that might be a parallel of, I think he is just Sherlock, and who knows what is happening in that show. I haven't watched it, but so yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been waiting for dubs for My Hero Academia, and I'm waiting on dubs to come out for Daima. I've been dying for that dub to come out, but yeah, that's about it that I can remember anyway.
Sounds like a full schedule.
Well, when you don't have a life, this is what you end up doing. I mean, because my kids are go to school, so I need to watch something while they're in school outside of the chores that I do. And then usually we go outside, hang out if it's nice out. Like this week has been nice. So I've been watching Thundercats with them. So that's fun to try to show them. It's like my first love and passion.
Come here, kids. Let me introduce you to my roots.
Right. That's how it literally feels like it is, but
no, outside time is important. Kids need that. That's we do the same. We let our kids go out. We try to whenever the weather is not terrible down here because it can change in
Yeah.
10 minutes down here. It's crazy. It's you wouldn't think so, but unless it's like a sauna outside, it's like, yeah, no, we're not doing that today.
Yeah, we're not setting foot outside.
Yeah,
unless you want to walk out the doors and be drenched.
It's not going to end well for anyone.
Right. But yeah, that's 10 minutes you said. So that, yeah, we had that, my in high school, I had a Spanish teacher named Mr. Bendecki, and he used to say, you don't like the weather in Ohio, wait an hour, wait a week. And then in his class, we're sitting there and he had two big windows, and we saw every season in his class, and that span took an hour. And so we're like, you're right. You really can see every season in an hour. It went from nice and beautiful and sunny to storming and raining and all this. It was just every season. It was hilarious. But
yeah, that's funny. Well, I mean, there's more stuff going on, in your house. You guys had a cool new game that you explored, right? Tell us about that.
Yeah, we did. So we did Escargot, had a Just Roll With It episode first for our channel. So we sat down. His name's Christopher Brown, and he has a game, and we played through it. And so it's basically like, to strip it down to its core essence, is it's basically Mario Kart, but it's with snails. So you have snails and you have like a cargo. It's called escargot for you get cargo that each snail has, and then you move around the track, and you can move around the track, move up, down, sideways, all that stuff. Move around the track, and then sometimes you'll find, like, how they have those like little glowing magical boxes in Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you put several of those out around the board, and if you run over them, it can be sometimes really good or really bad. So sometimes you'll get a shell, and that shell is basically, you can deflect stuff. If someone throws a bomb, you can deflect a bomb, and you won't lose your cargo. So you keep moving, and then it could be a trap, which means, oh no, you fell into a trap and you lose one of your cargo off your back, and it falls on the space directly behind you. Well, now other players around you have the opportunity. They can move straight forward towards the goal, or they can slide over and pick up your cargo. And then you end the cargo with, you end the race with whoever has the most cargo. There's things that you can add up that also add towards your ultimate goal, as well. So like, if you get, there's other cargo you can pick up, there's shells and bombs and things like that can also contribute to your main goal. Like, the goal is to win with the most, be the snail with the most. So but yeah, we had a blast. And we were rolling and taking turns, and it's all up on our YouTube, and there's, I almost said snails, there's shorts and things like that on our YouTube, and on that other app that I'm forgetting the name of, not Snapchat, the other app that I rarely ever use, TikTok. Okay. Took me a second to remember. But yeah, so
I don't have TikTok.
I know, right? I know,
so
because I tried to tag you.
So no, it's not going to work. I'm not there. And if you see any of this there, it ain't me.
Yeah, it's because it's me.
No. Though, so if people like this game and like what they see, where can they find it? Where can they get a copy?
Kickstarter and just Google Escargo. I don't have an ad prepared, but I could look one up for you.
So it's like an open. So wait, is it a Kickstarter that's happening right now, or has it ended?
Yep.
Or
It's a Kickstarter happening right now.
okay.
And so there's let's see. There are
So you're not sharing,
stretch
by the way.
goals. Yeah, I know. I'm working on getting it.
Okay. I was just making sure.
Yeah. No, email, and then I'm gonna copy this link.
Hopefully they'll use your videos in their promotional stuff. Like, hey, this is how it's played. Look, they're having so much fun. It's of all ages.
Unfortunately, we had a issue with my microphone that day, and so we all were like huddled around Cadence's my kid's little phone, and I'm like trying to see like what's going on, like it was very awkward, but it was fun nonetheless.
No.
It was fun nonetheless. Here's where you can find the Kickstarter. He's I think, what did he say? Something about he's over like halfway to his goal or something like that. So
yeah. Now,
but there's going to be additional unlocks.
Put that on screen too for our people that might watch later that aren't part of the chat right now.
Let's do that.
We do try to help promote, indie creators. That's all part of what we do, on our show and as part of the Madness Network. So it's all good.
He is part of the Madness Network, by the way.
Yeah. So you can also go to Kickstarter and type in search Escargo.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, almost halfway there. He's Jessica says she just checked it out. And so there's additional dice and upgrades for like your shell. You can add protection and spikes to your shell and stuff like that if it gets unlocked. So hoping it gets unlocked. I think that'll be fun. So yeah, so we had a good time with that.
How do you spell that?
S-CARGO.
Let's see if I can pull that up. Yay, I found it. Okay. Since you're going to be stingy and not share, Dustin, I'm going to share. Here we go.
Oh, that's what you meant.
No, I meant pull the link up too. That way people can see it, but also you could just go to, Kickstarter and see, I didn't know how it was spelled, but here, we have a visual because I didn't know.
Yeah. Well,
so, yeah. So they have a goal of 1,000. They're at 10 backers for $410. 19 days.
Definitely one of those backers.
There's still time to get in. So yeah, no, it looks really well put together, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris does a really good job.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, head on over to Kickstarter and go back this one. That's cool.
Yep.
It's always interesting to see people that can come up with their own games.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole other level of creativity there. Like,
yes, it is.
Anybody can paint and pick up a pencil and write or draw something. With enough practice, you could get good at it. But this, like, you're creating almost a whole world, and you have to set rules, and that's just amazing.
Yep. Yep. So I mean, I backed this. I was at the hospital, so I think I backed it on my way back. But yeah, I grabbed that and one of his other add-ons that he had listed. I think it was something about metal, gods of metal or something is in their description.
Gods of Metal, The Chosen.
Yeah, it just sounds fun.
What is that like? That looks like a card game or something.
It is. It's a deck building game, and I love deck building games. So
yeah, I was about to say that's right up your alley there.
Yeah.
So he's got more than one Kickstarter going, or that's just like an add-on that you can do?
Well, as far as I understand, it's an add-on. I didn't care if it was a separate Kickstarter or anything. I know it's not. What he's working on right now is Escargot, but he had talked about that before, so I made sure I backed it so that way I could get the cards.
Gotcha.
But, yeah.
Yeah, $30 for the physical game. That's not bad.
Like, yeah, no, for sure.
I mean, we're not talking about, like just some game, Monopoly or something from, a big box store that you can go and pick up whenever. This is an independent creator here putting their heart and soul into something.
Yep.
I'll have a retailer tier too. That's cool.
Yeah, I thought about seeing if a Pumiro would let me do that, so that way I could take it to my local game shop and be like, "Hey, here, set these out. Let's play it." So you can get people to buy it.
Well, I mean that you should take this campaign itself to that local shop and tell them, hey, check it out. They've got a retailer tier just catered for your specifications to carry in your store.
Right.
I mean, definitely, at least show them that. That's great.
Yeah, for sure.
No,
a lot of indie creators do that. They'll have like retailer tier for their comic books or their games, things like that. So yeah, it's a good idea in case anyone has either the capability or has their own store or can reach out to one that they're good enough friends with to hopefully get them to trust their word and back it, or like what they see and back it.
Yeah. No, super cool though. I definitely wanted to mention that because I know you guys had a ton of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
But yeah, I mean, almost halfway there with 19 more days to go, and that's not a bad price. I mean, if you've got, a family of 3 or 4, $30, that's skipping one fast food meal, eating at home just one time.
Yep.
And you get a super cool board game that you can play over and over and over again.
Absolutely.
I mean, or I know you people out there like your Starbucks. Skip the Starbucks for 2 days and buy this instead. It'll bring you much more enjoyment.
Right, for sure. I mean, Starbucks is so expensive.
Right? That's why, I mean, if it's a single person, skip 2 days. You don't need your mocha frappa, whatever the hell they call them things.
Mocha frappuccino. That's what I like to get when I...
Venti ventilator, whatever.
Veni ventilaba, no whip, no whoop, blah, blah, blah. However they go.
Zippity doo dah.
But
okay.
Yeah. So let's talk about these movies, huh? I think it's about time we get into those.
Yep.
It's only an hour into the show, basically.
Let's roll
40
it.
minutes.
Well, wouldn't be ADHD Theater without wandering a bit.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. So let's talk about Mortal. Do you remember that one?
A little bit. This one threw me, and I'm gonna have to make a request. So let's not pick movies with subtitles
Oh gosh,
anymore.
yeah. I didn't know it had subtitles going into it. And
So
of
I
course,
do
played the
like
trailer last week, and it looked like it was all above board in English, but
I
oh
was
gosh.
waist deep in sorting through stuff in my workroom here, and I hear another language, and I stop immediately, and like I kick it in reverse, and I'm going, "What is this? The right movie?" I mean, I stood there for a few minutes and watched, and I'm going, "Okay, yeah, this dude's got powers. It's got to be. Why is it not in English?"
Yeah.
So I stuck with it, and then he started speaking, but he was speaking in English, and everybody else wasn't. I'm going, "Oh shit!" Now I
One of
have to
those
pay
movies.
attention.
Yeah.
I can't just have it on,
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Have to be
but
more
then
careful
like,
about those.
but then halfway through, like subtitles stopped working for me for some reason. So
Yeah,
I'm going,
same.
great. Now I have no idea what's going on.
Right.
It's-
Yeah. I had to
uh,
I had to go in and turn on subtitles halfway through, and then it made me so mad because they put the subtitles directly over what they're effing saying, and you couldn't see what they're translated saying to see the garbage that they're putting on the screen. It's like one or the other.
yeah,
So
yeah.
mad.
So it was odd,
Yeah.
but as a movie as a whole, I can honestly say I did not see where the movie was going.
Yeah.
This is definitely a made for television or made for streaming platform movie. Like
Yeah. There's no way.
the quality to it and the green screening, I mean, it was blatantly obvious whenever they were utilizing that. It's like, oh, that is a harsh transition.
Mm.
But yeah, I did not see by the end of the movie, I didn't see where that was going at all. Like I was not piecing that together. Like where they went with it, I'm going, okay.
Yeah. Well, of course I thought it was going to be very much like there was the Project 13 or Adam Project or something like that.
I was getting almost Chronicle
Yes,
vibes
Chronicle.
at
That's what I was
first.
trying to think of.
Okay. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we kind of picked up on the same kind of
Yeah.
nuance there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but then it just takes a hard left turn and just barrels straight that direction. And it's like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
Yeah. It's like, okay, hang on. I thought this was going to be like a cool indie, like no current mythology, but there it is. They just planted it. They were like, nope, that dude's Thor. You're like, what?
Yeah.
They're
or,
calling
or
him
at
Thor.
least a descendant of Thor,
Right, right.
So
So it's like very odd.
yeah,
It's like,
didn't
okay.
see that coming at all. Like
I
in the
well, I started to
beginning,
pick up on it when he kept talking about a mention of a tree, and I'm like, there's no way he's thinking about. Yeah, I
see,
mean,
I thought about the world tree whenever immediately when he said it, and I'm going, wait, are they trying to tie in Norse mythology with this? Because in the
yeah,
beginning, his powers seemed very fire-like, like
right,
they were based in fire. Like he told that first guy, "Look, don't touch me or you'll burn."
right,
And then like the dude gets hard boiled from the inside out. His eyes roll back and it's like, a couple of hard boiled eggs there.
right.
But and then the desk with the office,
Yep.
bursting into flames and
Oh,
stuff. And it wasn't really until like right before the bridge scene where lightning was really a big part of it. So
yeah,
it was almost like they wanted it to be a new thing in the beginning, and then like halfway through, like a new creative team took over and like, nope, we're full on Norse mythology. You know,
Right.
we're going Thor's hammer all the way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This one I didn't enjoy as much. What did you think?
It was okay.
Yeah, I'll never watch this movie again.
No.
Is it the worst we've seen? Yeah, fire, hot, bad. Stay away. Don't touch. You were
Right.
warned.
Yeah.
uh, no, it's not the worst we've ever watched on this show. Let's face it.
Oh.
You know, we've sat through some stinkers.
Yeah.
um, yeah, you know, it was an okay movie.
Yeah. I mean, it was okay because I liked that that last turn when they were barreling towards the Norse mythology, and it's like, okay, and they like find like that tomb where everything's laid out, and it's like, okay, that's cool. I really like that. That's cool. And then they dig up like the armor and stuff like that. It's like, that's cool. I dig that. But I think there's other ways they could have gone about it.
Yeah, like
to lead into it.
The whole, you know, like he saved the kid's life. You know, he touched him, and I mean, pretty much like a human defibrillator. You know, jump started the kid's heart or whatever. You know, and then everybody was like, "Oh, it's the second coming. He's Jesus. Touch me, please." I'm going.
Yeah, no, I thought,
you weirdo.
yeah, I thought the comparison to Jesus was a bit of a stretch. Like,
yeah,
it's like, okay,
but
I wouldn't go up to someone who had just restarted someone's heart. I'd be like, hey, cool, congrats for restarting this dude's heart. Not like, oh my gosh, touch me, you're the second coming. No.
yeah, no, no. But I mean,
No,
I
I
think
wouldn't
it
get
gave. I think it gave an rewind that.
opportunity.
I think it gave a good view into like the whole like government agency thing. Like, okay, this guy's clearly got some type of power. It's dangerous. Like, we can't have that. You know, the religion zealots are going to come out and try to connect him with this and that and everything. It's clear he's clearly dangerous because, you know, if he like wigs out, you know, who knows how stable he is mentally or whatever. So them trying to, you know, put together a team to pretty much take him out, I think is like a very realistic take on if people with powers started showing up. Like,
Yeah.
You know, first of all, if, you know, my question, you know, if you had some type of ability, would you keep it hidden or would you come out with it? You know, me personally, I would probably try to keep it hidden because I don't want to be that science experiment. I don't want to be viewed as dangerous, especially if I'm not.
Right.
You know, like, just leave me alone, okay?
Right.
I don't want none of that. But, you know, I can see the point of view from, you know, that one particular character, that woman that's like, yeah, no, we got to take him out, you know, and they had snipers and everything. Leading into that, let me ask you, because they kept referring to the target, and clearly they knew he was dangerous. And they did refer to him as the target because when he went into that tomb, we've lost sight of the target. He's in the tomb, all that kind of stuff. But then when she gave the order to take the shot, do you think they were aiming for him or aiming for her? And if they were aiming for her, aiming for him, boy, did they ever fucking miss.
No kidding. I mean, that was an obvious miss. I mean,
so there's two ways to look at it, you know. they were aiming for him, and the sniper screwed up. It wasn't
Right.
that good of a shot.
Obviously.
Maybe he didn't factor in the wind.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of math you got to do in your head. It's not just squeezing the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so if they were aiming for him and missed, they only really proved that one woman's point of, yeah, he's a psychopath and he's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Because what did he do? He lost
because
his cool and
yeah.
fucking took out everybody in the area.
Right. Which
And
only proved
that
the
one
point.
detective knew it. Like as soon as it happened, he was like, "Oh my god, no!" Like he knew they were dead. Like,
Yeah.
he tried to stop the guy, but it's like, nope, it's the end. Dude went all like burn bright on him.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Still waiting on that one to hit because I want to watch that again.
Oh yeah, that one was a good one.
Yeah, Darius still hasn't seen it, and he said he's wanting to watch it, but he's gonna wait until we watch it on the show. So it's like, well, all right.
All right. So what do we rate it as? Or do you have any other thoughts?
Okay, so I do have another thought. I forgot what I was gonna say, but
I'm so sorry. So I did ask you, do you think they were referring to him or her as the target, or were they aiming at him or her?
Oh, okay. So here's what I was thinking. No, I was confused because the one lady agent guy, girl, whatever you want to say.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah. She kept saying like, "Oh, there's a lot of questions. We need to bring him in for questioning. Like he's a person of interest. Like how? Like why? Like you I did you pick up on a reason why? Like other than this random boy just died.
I'm like, okay, you had him. He was in a helicopter, and you saw firsthand that didn't work. How are you going to bring him in?
Oh, and okay, so I've seen elephants be transported by helicopter and stuff like that. You're to tell me this one dude couldn't be like sedated because he's already had to reach the maximum dose. If I give him any more, he'll die. It's like what?
Yeah, that was kind of weird writing there. I mean, that can happen. That can happen if you get the dosage wrong. You can overdose somebody and they flatline. That's it. They're gone.
Yeah, but I'm obviously, but yeah. So I get that, but still, like he only took one dose. You would think they would have had factored that in. Like, oh, we have to take this helicopter from this random field in I don't know Scandinavia or wherever the heck it was, UK, even to United States where they're gonna keep them under control indefinitely. You didn't factor that in, like, oh well, we need to no, just no. Come on.
Yeah, it was a bad plan
Right.
from the very beginning. That's yeah. So there's definitely, and there's more things in the movie that are like that. It's like, wait a minute. Did you not think this through?
Right.
No, there was no thinking.
Also, the part where they randomly jump to this innocent lady who doesn't not work with the police force at all to bring her in to talk to this random dude who is a random dude from another village in another county that she has nothing to do with. It's just like, wow, that was a leap.
Yeah.
Where did you get her? Why is this relevant? But she was the one person he wanted to talk to. It's just like, what? Why?
Yeah, that was kind of bizarre. Like,
yeah, I was like,
almost,
all right.
It almost makes me wonder if some of that was like lost in translation. Like when they were doing this, it's like somebody wrote something and didn't understand it, and like totally glossed over the reason.
Right.
And it's, well, don't worry about it, just go with it.
Right.
It was like the exploding oxygen tank at the end of Jaws. I'm telling this story. The audience will believe whatever we put on screen.
Right.
Newsflash, that doesn't happen when you shoot an oxygen tank, by the way. It doesn't explode, it shoots off like a rocket. That's what happens. FYI.
Well, who says we can do what we want? Anyway.
It's Hollywood magic.
So, what would you rate this as?
2.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna rate it a 2
You
as
agree
well.
with me. Pick something else.
I'll give it a 2.5 because like I said, I do think I was on board, especially when I was hoping for it to be an indie filmmaker, like an indie superhero creation. Like I was excited for that to happen. That's going into it. And then I was on board when they went into, hey, this is Thor, and here's a hammer, and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I didn't see that coming, but that's cool. But so the 2 different things. So it's equals out to it was moderately insightful. So
and there's definite leaps within
Oh,
the scripting of the movie. So,
yeah, for sure.
yeah.
For sure.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
I had never heard of Army of Thieves until you had mentioned it. Like I'd seen Army of the Dead, Army of the Dead before our show. Like I'd watched it at some point. I remembered it.
Yeah.
Did I remember everything? No, I didn't remember everything. Like I didn't remember the quirky, safecracker, even though he was a big part of the story.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't remember him.
Yeah.
So
he was one of my favorites of the character. Him and the cigar smoking random helicopter pilot.
Yeah,
those were just too fun.
She was great. Yeah, my favorite character of that film.
Yeah,
but yeah, the safecracker a close second. Because he's that bright-eyed, innocence that's just kind of, the professionals needed him, so they grabbed him and said, well, you're the only one that can do this, so you're coming with us.
Right.
So,
but in this one,
well, it explains his excitement when they showed him the prints for that vault. Because there was that, that his eyes just lit up. If you're watching the Army of the Dead, and you're like,
excuse me, Mr. Big Finger.
Yeah, he's really excited about that. What's this? Middle of nowhere, middle of Nevada, whatever, locksmith, and we show him this, and he's like got a heart on for it. Like, what's up with that? Well, in Army of Thieves, we get to see why.
Yeah.
Come to find out, there is a series of bank vaults that a particular, pretty much artist,
designed.
Design had come up with. Yeah, thank you. That's exactly the word I was trying to remember. No. So, Gesundheit. But yeah, no. So each vault door had a specific name, and it followed along, a particular,
his name was Hans.
Norse mythology or Greek mythology or something.
That was for the Valkyrie.
So each one had a particular story to it that he understood, because he was like a mega geek fan. He was a self-proclaimed safecracker. Even though he had never done it in real life, he had made a video blog of him talking about the history of this man and what he had created and everything. And all of his videos were uploaded, and all of his videos had 0 views, 0 likes. and he's talking to the camera, saying, this is for the fans, my fans, and he's, big thumbs up, and all
Yeah.
this shit. But yeah, it kind of reminded me of us a little bit. Like, hey, that's us.
Yeah, right. I got the same feeling. It's just like, yeah, that's definitely us. No matter how many views we get, it's like, all right, well, yeah.
But we do it anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, and he's got a mock-up of the inner workings of a bank dial for the combination to put in and everything. And he's timing himself on his watch how long it takes him, and he's not even looking, and he can do it by feel pretty much. And it's like 8 seconds or something like that, or 0.8 seconds. I don't know, something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so he works at like a bank or something, and he's just got this mundane job, and he goes in and dealing with people fussing at him all day, and they've got the TV on, and you get your first glimpse of, it says zombie apocalypse across the bottom of the screen. It's obviously talking about what's going on in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
What we see in the beginning opening sequence of Army of the Dead. So and it's got kind of those nods all throughout the movie of the zombies are there. They're not here. They're there because they're not in America. The zombies are in America, and they're over here in Europe and doing this kind of continent hopping thing, because there's rumored 4 bank vaults, but only 3 are known, and they're being taken out of circulation, which prompts a team of thieves to search out the best safecracker that they can find. And there's this shady underground kind of, contest going on. And his one view for one of his latest videos leaves a comment, "Meet me." What's he had White Maxine Waters screaming at him. Oh yeah. He did at the bank, yeah. But yeah, no. What was I saying? Oh, his one view gave him instruction on how to find, the underground safe cracking thing, and gave him a code. It gave him a code word that he kept fucking up. And all along, the dude at the door spoke English.
Maybe like this.
Yeah. The guy at the door, you could tell he was like, "Oh, I've had enough of this shit. Just come on." So he goes through with it, not really knowing what he's doing, and he beats out the reigning champ of the safe crackers. And boy, was that guy a spoiled, rotten pissant.
Yeah, mega douche.
But yeah, so that's how he ends up being recruited into the Army of Thieves, as it were, for a series of bank heists, because they've located all 3 of the bank vaults that are known before they're decommissioned. Because what better time than in the world to do this? People are going to be distracted, so it'll be easier. And there's
Well, and they cut to a agency, an interagency Interpol meeting, and they're like, "What? Why does this have? Don't we have better things to worry about?" And he's like, "F those zombies!" And it's just like, I care about this.
Fuck them zombies. If you won't say it, I will. Fuck them. I'm a zombie. I can say that. You can't say that. I can say that. No. Anyway. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So, but he was right. The Interpol agent was right. Everybody's distracted by the zombies. Fuck those zombies. There's this woman we've been chasing for years, and she's going to try this. I know she is. And everybody's like, hey, this guy's a crackpot. He's obsessed. He's got that one eye that's almost about to pop out of its socket.
And no, we're not talking about Forrest Whitaker.
No, not him. It's like another guy. Anyway, so he finally convinces like the crew that's in there with him, his team, that this is, happening and this is what we're going to do. So the lady underneath him is like, yeah, okay, all right, we're going with him, whatever.
Yeah.
So he's an obsessive, like, agent tracking like the lead female thief in our group that we're following, and she's the one that's contacted our guy. What was his name? I don't. Did somebody say his name?
No,
I can't remember his name.
No, the
safe cracker
bank
dude.
vault is Gutenmung.
Right. No, I'm talking
but
about the character with the golden comb over, whatever.
Yeah, no. He was
I can't remember his
he's
name.
not Alexis. He was I forget his name.
Somebody will tell us, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he fell hard for her, even
He's
though come to
Lewis
find
or
out she was with this Brad Cage character.
Yeah. if
Total
Brad
douche.
Cage, if Brad Pitt and Nick Cage had a baby, and he was even more fucking handsome, it's just like,
yeah,
what? You want to be a poop baby?
Like,
Like,
full
what?
of himself. Like the whole flashback of him getting his ass whipped when he was in school by the school bully or whatever. I had no sympathy for that jackass. Like,
no.
Oh, you got beat up, so you started working out and became the bully. Screw you.
Yeah.
You had a chance to rise above it, and you chose to be petty. Anyway,
his name is Dieter.
Dieter, boy, don't even get me started on the last name. Like, even they poke fun at that in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, nobody could say his last name.
Well, his name is Dieter in especially Land of the Dead, but he's called something else in Army of Thieves. I said Land of the Dead, didn't I?
Yeah, Army of the Dead.
Yeah. Army of Thieves, they call him something different. I want to say it was like Levi or not Alexi, because that was the douchebag's name, the Brad whatever. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah. So they convince him to join the team, and he's all about it. He's like, oh yeah, no, totally. Like, I want to get my hands on these for sure and crack them. So what you looking at? Oh, you're looking.
I was trying to find his name.
So we got. Looks like Pops is saying there's Brad / Alexis.
Brad / Alexis. Yeah. Ludwig Dieter. But they were calling him something else in the movie, and he changed his name.
A nickname?
Yeah, they were calling him something else in the beginning, and then she asks him, the main chick asks him, well, haven't you ever thought of, he's like, what's wrong with my name? And he's like, haven't you ever thought about changing your name? And even if it's anything, and then he tells her the story about how he used to write a comic book that was based on this Ludwig Dieter, and he thought that was the coolest name he could come up with, even though it still is, looking back on it, he said, yes, it is lame, but still. So Dieter is
that's
who he
all
wanted
of us.
to be. Yeah,
we've all done that, I think.
Yeah, to some degree.
No, long story short, though, he definitely jumps at the chance to test his skills to crack these works of art, as he calls, and which he does systematically.
So I just want to say that this has one of my. Okay, so I'm going to talk about a couple things. One, I really liked how in Land of the Dead, or Army of the Dead.
Yep.
They had a fun twist on giving you the idea that, okay, maybe this dude can reproduce, and zombies can get pregnant, and there's a hierarchy of alphas and shamblers and stuff like that. I thought that was fun twist to the standard stale zombie genre. In this movie, I also found it a fun twist on the heist genre, so to speak,
Okay.
because how they had the inner workings, and as he's clicking the dials and how things are popping and rolling around and stuff. I thought that was really unique, even though other movies could have done it. I just don't remember. I'm just saying they took it to a special degree for this one. I think that's just my opinion, but they took it like really deep in, and they didn't do any of the little, earphone,
Like stethoscope.
stethoscopes to the
Yeah.
safe. They didn't do anything like that. I mean, it was just simple. He literally regarded them as like a work of art. What?
He's posting the guy's actual character name down there.
Oh, okay,
I'm
yeah.
still not. I'm not even going to try to bother pronouncing that.
Sebastian slash Lungert. I don't know.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pops. Thanks for getting that. I knew they called him something else. Sebastian was his name.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, I think they did that. I have to agree with you there. I think it was neat how they went into the inner workings of those vault doors, and it made it feel like those vaults were characters in of themselves, and rightfully so. I mean, they were pretty much, very, very much pinpoints in the movie of conquest for this particular character, that we're following. And by the end of it, you really get a sense of why he was so excited about that fourth one, because they explain in the movie, it's really only rumored that there's 4 because we only know where 3 of them are. And turns out the fourth one was brought over to Vegas
by the same shady character.
Yeah, and by the same guy who owned all of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, and each one was progressively more difficult to crack because the technology developed by the original creator, of course, over time expanded his knowledge and expertise on, locksmithing and all that kind of stuff. So each one, as we go further into the movie, is more and more difficult. That second one, like, he screwed up.
Yeah.
Like he didn't get something right. He misheard a click or something. And then, like, all of the little dials, there's 3 of them, they like pulled into the door, and like there's this like what would you call those kind of things? Like telescoping door kind of thing closed over it.
Yeah.
It was like very space age almost,
Yeah,
it was like a cigar cutter or something, They twisted shut. And the woman that's with him, she's like, "What happened? What did you do?" And I loved his response, because he's like, you could tell he's stressing. He tells her, "It sensed my presence."
Right.
I love that, because it's like, these things are characters within this movie, these inanimate objects, and I loved that aspect of it, But
and he said, if I screw up again, it won't ever be. No one can ever open it again.
It'll seal shut forever.
Yeah. So it's like,
and that was true for all of them, because he says the same thing in Army of the Dead about that final vault. Like, he says, if I get it wrong, like, it won't open for anybody ever. Game over. That's it. We leave empty-handed.
Yeah.
I do have a gripe, though. The whole time they're talking about doing all these heists, and they're going over their plans, how they're going to go, and all that kind of stuff, and then they end up pulling it off. They're talking about millions in actual, like, paper money, but they're only bringing in a couple of bags over their shoulder.
Yeah. No, I think that was the intent.
And then it's like, our Brad Cage guy, by after the second one, he's like, "We're rich enough, we can stop." But the main female characters like, no, you don't understand.
We
It's
have to
not
complete
just
the
about
cycle.
money.
Yeah.
Yes, it's about this, like I said, the cycle. You know, we have to do them all. It's not just about the money. It's about bragging rights, basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did that. We did that. We cracked the uncrackable, you know?
Right.
And he didn't get that. She did. And then that caused, you know, a drift in the team. But yeah, I thought that whole like, well, you're only leaving with a couple of bags full of money. How rich are you? You're not walking out with all those millions.
Well, she did say
But
focus
then
on the certain denomination.
But then by the third one, you know, they just take the whole fucking safe.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, they've got it all, you know.
Yeah.
But then they're still only leaving with a couple of bags. I'm like,
Right.
wait a minute.
They
You know,
take
of
the
course,
entire
by
safe,
then,
which I thought was awesome.
yeah,
I thought it was a much better scene than them dragging them with a car around the entire village to get destroyed. like
yeah,
like in Fast and Furious. Like, yeah, I don't know.
right.
I thought it was
right.
a much slicker and better scene. Like, yeah, just take the safe.
Yeah, and the added stress of trying to crack this safe, which
Oh, yeah.
normally you want it calm and still and
Yeah.
quiet, and he's in the back of this truck being swung around
And it's
on these
bouncing
mountain
around.
roads. Yeah, it's like, oh my god, this is crazy.
Hey, how's it going?
No problem. Hey, better late than never. You know. We appreciate all of our viewers and all of the
Yeah.
people that joins us in the chat. You know,
Yeah, for
thank
sure.
you for joining us, even if we are close to the end. There's always the replay.
Yep, for sure.
But so you have any talking points you want to get to in this?
Okay, so there are a couple things I wanted to point out. Again, I said what I said about the character, the like you were talking about, the character, the safes feel like a character in the film, and that is definitely something I liked and agreed with. I thought it took the movie to a new level, and it helped introduce a new way of thinking that I think will probably be duplicated on other thievery type movies, heist movies. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble.
Not thievery. But yeah, other heist movies. I think they'll maybe focus on that and do that a lot more. But I really like that in this movie. And again, it added a new aspect of way of thinking about these inanimate objects are like they make sure that it's not. They take something that's ordinary, a safe.
Yeah.
It's pretty ordinary. Yet, you know, there's some sort of combination. It unlocks, big deal. We see them in every movie. They're in every hotel. You know, they're everywhere. And yet they manage to take this whole concept and level it up, in my opinion, by it sensed me, you know, like things like that. Just little slight talking points and just a certain point of view. It helps put the viewer in his mind. Like, this is how he is thinking about this, and this is how much this task means to him. So I thought that was really cool and really good fun to watch. But I thought the one dude from Interpol was an absolute douchebag. And it's like, normally they have, in heist movies especially, they have the good guys, people that you're supposed to be rooting for to take on the bad guys, like a good yin yang type thing. But no, I was rooting for him to fucking die already. Like, there was nothing redeemable about that character at all. At all. He was just a straight up asshole. And the same thing with Brad, whatever the crap his name is. Brad
Cage.
Yes, Brad Cage.
Well, really his name was
Alexis.
Yeah. So
He was the worst character, and I felt like he was more of an antagonist than the actual antagonist, the Interpol agent. So I feel like they split the load between the two of them.
Yeah.
Because you have someone who's rooting against him on the inside of the crew and someone who's rooting against them on the outside of the crew, and they're sort of like tag teaming this poor dude.
Yeah.
Even though he is technically a bad guy. But I'm still rooting for him the entire time.
If you were ever unsure about that particular character, the Brad Cage character, whether is he good, is he bad, or whatever, when that second heist starts going sideways, and he slips on that the presidential mask, and they had to pick that one.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on the guy's name because I'm so tired. Anyway, and he goes in guns blazing, pointing it at people and women and children and stuff. It's like, okay, yeah, this he's a dirtbag. I get why he had to do that, because it was a distraction from the actual robbery. Nixon. But it's the fact that it was non-discriminatory towards the whole women and children, and then the one security guy that got shot, or almost got shot and taken out, and it's like, yeah, okay, this guy's dangerous for sure.
On top of all that, he leaves our main guy out to dry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he had him. Like, he had him. All he had to do is pull him inside. It's like, and it was over jealousy.
Yeah.
That was over jealousy, because he knew that he liked his girlfriend. Like, yeah, you could see it too. He had him, and he's like, "You little shit," and then just pushes him out.
Yeah.
But
there's just, he was such a dick. But anyway.
Yeah.
So let's go to the rating of this.
Yeah.
What do you say about this?
I would probably give this one a 4.
All right. And I know Pumaira isn't here tonight, but she already told me she said I was getting ready to give this a 4.5 again. That's how much she liked the movie. And I agree. I think it was good. I think it was really good. I think it's probably a 4 or 4.5, I would say.
Yeah.
I forget what I rated. I forget what I rated the other one, Land of the
Army of Darkness. Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead.
Got it wrong.
You got it wrong too this time. Yeah.
Wrong movie. Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, but yeah. So Pop says he goes with a 4.
Yeah, so it's solid 4. Solid 4 all the way around.
So I just was gonna say, whatever I made comparison to last week, I thought I rated that a 4.5. So that's why I liked this one better than the first movie. Better than Land of the Dead. So I liked them both. Like, pretty, I mean, that's pretty high up. I mean, I know I don't know if he's still in the chat, but I know Ghost Pepper was also talking about that he liked it better last time. He liked this movie that we watched during the watch party better than last week's movie. And so he's probably right there too. So
yeah. Okay. So Bloodline Josh Perry, he says he has seen Army of the Dead. So the movie we're talking about right now is called Army of Thieves, which is a prequel to Army of the Dead.
Yep.
So if you haven't seen Army of Thieves and you liked Army of the Dead, go watch Army of Thieves.
Yeah, for sure. So he says, me too. I gave
Army of the Dead
a 3.5. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, Army of the Dead is pretty good. So you get a
Yeah.
little bit more backstory on the safecracker
Yeah.
in Army of
Ludwig.
Thieves. Yeah. So go watch it. It's
Yep.
entertaining.
Yeah, for sure.
Not so much the other movie we were talking about, Mortal.
Yeah.
So
That one was rough. We have our
yeah.
grapes about it, but
All right. So I unfortunately will not be here next Friday, but Derry, our wonderful trash panda, should be back. Do you have movies picked out for next week, Dustin? I hope so
uh
because I didn't pick anything because I won't be here. I didn't think it would be fair for me to pick the movie and
yeah.
then not be able to attend.
Let me double check. I had some things. I didn't write them down, unfortunately. Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Army of Thieves can be found on Netflix. So if you've got Netflix, go check it out.
What on earth? I'm gonna go to Tubi. See if I can find something there.
I
Transporter.
apologize. I'm having so much trouble with my eye. So if that's grossing anybody out, I apologize. I will apologize for that. I'm
uh,
like I'm half blind right now. Like I can't hardly see out of this eye for some reason.
the movie was thinking of. I think it's not a movie. I think it's a TV series.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I do need to get some sleep. You missed the beginning of the show, so you have no idea. Like, yeah, I do need some sleep. All right, what you got for us, Dustin?
Let's see movies.
I'm
Um,
trying not to let us have dead air.
yeah, that's good. We just watched that. We just watched that. Oh, that's a TV show. Dang it. Um, well, shoot.
Oh,
Um,
excuse me. Mm.
oh, we watched that.
So, anybody that's
Anyone else?
watching? No.
I
I
do.
mean, I was gonna say anybody that's watching right now. If this is your first time watching, maybe you're not familiar with us or whatever. This is our Friday night show where we talk about mostly entertainment stuff. You know, sometimes it could be TV shows at the beginning or other movies that we watch. We usually pick a couple of movies. Dustin, I'm trying to stall for you.
Yep.
And uh, used to be we just did one movie, but then somehow we started. Well, let's do two movies. We'll do a double feature. So
Yeah,
we picked
because
a couple of
when we
movies.
agree on it, it makes it hard to have an hour long show.
Right. So we pick a couple of movies, and that's kind of your assignment as the audience to watch these movies, so that you can be part of the conversation that we're having.
Yeah.
Maybe you liked it, maybe you didn't, maybe you've got some talking points you want us to hit. Hit us up in the chat whenever we do that. So we pick a couple of movies and we come back the following week on Friday nights to talk about them. But that is not our only show that we do here on Geek-men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds. We also have a Monday night show. We start off the week talking toys.
Mm-hmm.
We have interviews from people in the toy industry, independent creators running their own Kickstarters for action figure lines, and stuff like board games and comic books that we like to talk about too. So come and join us on Monday nights if you're here now watching us or catching us on the replay. It's a little bit later of a show, so not everybody can attend. We get that, but they're out there in the world for you to catch up on the replay. But yeah, no, if you like toys or collectibles, come check us out on Monday nights too.
Yeah. All right. So how about it's on Tubi. It's called Kill the Irishman. I've never seen that. And there's another one on Tubi
Never heard of
called
it.
The Beehive. Or no, Lord of War.
Okay, I've never heard of either of those.
Which Lord of War, Beehive, or the
Neither one
other
of
one
them.
I said that I now?
Did you say 3? I thought it was just 2.
No, it's gonna be 2. I was gonna say,
I didn't hear 3 titles.
yeah, Lord of War, or what was the first one? Dang it!
I don't know. I'm stuck on Beehive. I'm like, what is it? What are you saying?
Where to go?
Yeah, I can't help you there.
I know it was one of those things that was popped up, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this looks interesting," and then it disappeared.
I know there was a movie on Tubi that had popped up that I had mentioned before, and I think it was I Think We're Alone Now, and it had Peter Dinklage in it. It was kind of one of those post-apocalyptic type of stories. Like the synopsis to it was funny though. It's something like he's managed to survive on his own, but then here comes this woman, and it like
Of course, it's all
a possible romantic interest throws a wrench into the works or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, obviously.
yeah. All right. Well, okay, so that's what it is. Whatever the movie I said previously.
I don't remember. You gotta say it again.
I know. I gotta find it.
I don't remember. You said several things.
I cannot find this for the life of me. Did
Peter
it disappear
Dinklage,
that fast?
I don't think he was in The Hobbit. I know he was in The Lord of the Rings. I mean, not The Lord of the Rings. I'm sorry. He was not in Lord of the Rings. He was in what was he in that was big?
Game of
He
Thrones.
was in Game of Thrones. Yes, thank you. He was also the villain in the Green Lantern movie. The horrible one. The horrible one with Deadpool.
Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
Okay, how about let's just do Den of Thieves. I'm going to add this to my list so that way hopefully it doesn't disappear, and if it does I can find it again.
Yeah, you
and
got it. He was the half man in Game of Thrones.
What was the other thing I just said?
I don't know.
Good grief.
See, all I heard was Beehive, the Beehive or something. I don't know what that is.
All right, fine. Beehive.
I don't know. I tried.
You're stuck on it. Oh, Blood and Bone. How about Blood and Bone?
What is Blood and Bone?
It has Michael Jai White in it, and it's one I've always wanted to watch. I just never get to sit down to watch it.
I don't know what that is.
Well, there you go. You'll find it out. We got Den of Thieves and Blood and Bone both on Tubi.
Blood and Bone and Bees.
No bees. No bees.
Okay, no bees.
Den of Thieves and Lord of War. No, dang it. Blood and Bone and Den of Thieves. Blood and Bone and Den of Thieves. Y'all getting me confused.
Den of Bees and Blood of Thieves.
No. Blood and Bone and Den of Thieves.
Okay. We'll have it your way.
Don't go quoting me at some other random thing. Oh, we got 21 comments in the thing that since the time I clicked off. Let's do.
We're just entertaining ourselves. You focus on the movies, get the titles right.
Right. I could. I'm gonna pull this up. Let's see. Screenshots.
Yeah, Pops, you're right. He created the hammer for Thor.
Yeah, Thor.
In the Marvel universe. He was the tallest dwarf I've ever seen.
Right. Okay. Wait, can we do this? Can I do this? Will this work?
I don't know. What are you doing? Let
Here
us
we
all.
go.
What are we
Blood
doing?
and Bone and Den of Thieves.
Okay. Oh, hey, there's a sequel to Den of Thieves.
I know, and that's why I want to watch it.
I'm picking up what you're laying down.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, I know that there was a sequel to this, but I hadn't even seen the first one. I was like, what the heck? There's a sequel?
I gotcha.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
We will be the judge of just how good these movies are next week. Well, I won't be here. Maybe I'll give my thoughts to Dustin that he can share with you all.
Yeah, or pop in, leave a chat. Well, of course you're probably busy, so yeah.
Yeah, I will be deep into a side quest. So there won't be, I will be internet free for that night, unfortunately.
Yeah, so
for
definitely give me your thoughts ahead of time.
I'll definitely watch these movies for sure.
Yeah. All right. So there you have it. You have your assignment, and
come back next week
and we're gonna
this will be on the test.
Yes. Exactly.
Pop says, which one we watching on Pilled? So they're both on Tubi.
They're both on Tubi, so whichever one you want to watch. Oh, is that like a cop movie? Have you seen X-Men?
Probably.
Oh yeah, I have seen that.
I have no idea about Blood and Bone. I don't know if that's a cop movie, but Den of Thieves is definitely that type of, heist. We're sticking with the heist theme here.
Yeah.
It's definitely a type of, cops and robbers sort of.
Judging from the the picture, I can tell you it looks like cops versus robbers. So
he says, I want to watch the good one if one of them is good.
Oh, thanks.
Well, go with Den of Thieves. How about that? I'll make the choice for you. Den of Thieves, Unpilled, next Thursday. I can't tell you what time. I'm not sure. Dustin, you would know.
Oh, 7:00. Believe he has it. But so Peter Dinklage is also in Toxie. He's Toxie in the Toxic Avengers. That's apparently getting a reboot.
Yeah. Very interesting choice there.
Right. So I'm not sure, like, are they just going to play it straight? Like, or are they going to somehow make everything else smaller? Or
oh no.
Is it?
I definitely think they should like have him his height. We all know the Toxic Avenger from, back in the 80s or whatever, a tall stature, muscular dude. I think it's a brilliant take. Roll with it. Keep him short, like he's like the actor is. You can see the pictures and tell like he's wearing like a buff suit, but you can still tell he's squat. So keep it, run with it. I love it. It's it's great.
He says if it sucks, we blame Zombie. LOL.
It's Pops. It's always my fault. Just for the record. Okay, I said it live. It's always my fault. It's fine. I can bear the burden.
But yeah, I was wondering that if they were going to do some sort of trickery like they did in
I hope not.
Marvel.
I hope not. Because I know Peter Dinklage has gone on record and said there's roles that he's refused because he doesn't want to be typecast as the dwarfish character.
Yeah.
So this is great. If they can gender bend other characters in other movies and other stories, then let them do it here with Toxic Avenger with height. Who cares?
Right. And I mean,
it's like the Little Mermaid, the live action Little Mermaid. People getting pissed off because they didn't cast Ariel as a light skinned, red haired, character. Who gives a shit? That movie wasn't made for you. That movie was made for a different target audience.
Yeah.
Don't detract from those little girls that look to that actress who portrayed that character and say, hey, she's like me. Let those little girls have that and shut your damn mouth. If you want the original, go watch the original movie. That movie still exists. They didn't take it away.
Right. I mean, that's the one I'll watch regardless anyway, but
don't worry about it. Roll with it.
But I will say,
keep his stature small.
Snow White.
So I have my own take on that, and it's I'm confused by the choice of actress. It feels like for that one they did it just for the sake of saying they did it, whereas in the story of Snow White, she's called Snow White because her skin is white as snow. In the original story, I'm not talking Disney, I'm talking before that, okay?
Right.
So that one confuses me a little bit. I don't care either way.
No, I just meant that.
Am I going to watch that movie? I might. Who knows?
I don't plan.
I don't care either way.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like that. I'm not going to say, well, that's not my Snow White. I'm not watching that movie.
The Snow White originally sucks.
Like
the old Snow White
part
sucks
about
anyway.
Snow White, that movie is the damn Seven Dwarves. Come on, we all know we're all thinking it. That's the best part of the movie is anything with the Seven Dwarves in it. Come on, who cares?
Well, I'll say with regard to that movie, the best thing I've seen is where you know how they do like this thing to a song, the dun 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 dun, and it's like just someone jumping around in Roblox or something. I've sent these to you before.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. I'm following you.
Okay. Yeah, so this one, I find that one the best thing to come from this movie. Just that where they're doing that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So okay. So no. The live action Little Mermaid there, Josh, is the character is still Ariel. It's just she people got really upset because she didn't look like the cartoon.
Yeah.
I'm not saying any of that, Dustin.
Well,
I'm not.
her skin was darker than the pale pasty.
No. The problem a lot of people had, which they shouldn't have had that problem. I'm just saying, go watch the original if that's what. Don't get caught up in what actor's playing what role. You know.
Yeah.
That's just let those little girls have that. You know, I fully support that 100%.
For sure.
Let those little girls have that. You know, everybody needs representation at some point in something. It gets boring if everything's always the same.
Yeah.
No. So in the Little Mermaid live action movie, it's still Ariel. She's just portrayed. Her looks are different, and that upset a lot of people that had no business being upset by it. That's all I was saying about that. Now, Pops is right. The original tale for the Little Mermaid is a much darker. Yes, Scandinavian tale. If you don't know about that, go look that up. All of these fairy tales and stuff have much darker origins and darker outcomes. Disney sugar-coated stuff, okay? If you only know these stories from how Disney has told them,
you don't know them.
You in for a surprise. Welcome to the real world, partner.
Anyway.
But, I could go on and on about stuff like that. Like even with like a little toy talk here for when the Four Horsemen Studios makes Figura Obscuras based off of literary works. Like, I knew who the Monkey King was. I knew Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. A lot of people didn't. And there was a lot of information that comes out with each of these figures that they do. Mask of the Red Death, a short story poem format for Edgar Allan Poe. I knew about that. I read that in school. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. it came with, each of them come with little booklets and stuff. Some of them come with the full story if it's short enough, and some of them come, with little excerpts from the books or whatever. It's not a very literary line. Sometimes it's based off of, historical, like historical fictitious figures and stuff like that. But that's, not everybody is well read, so not everybody is going to know, like this figure. Why is the Frankenstein figure why did you not make him green or whatever? Well, because in the book, in the original story, he's depicted as having like a jaundice type of yellowish color to his skin. That's why they went that direction instead of the Universal Studios, which is protected under copyright, by the way. So they would have got dinged for that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a loose kind of thing. Like you can do, there's like 4 or 5 things that you cannot directly use all of those, because then it's in violation of a copyright sort of stuff. But anyway, not everybody is well read.
Gotta cut you short there. We need to get off air so that way Pops can do his thing and get the next show set up. So they'll be back in a few minutes on the next show. But yeah, join us Monday with this whole mess of a thing. We're going to talk about that stuff, all of that stuff at one point or another. So, join us Monday and come back next week for the movies we talked about. See you next time. Thunder Near Toe.
Bye.